it got to a point where I was using to live.
Until he no longer cared if he lived or died. On a bright sunny afternoon in a quiet and peaceful park next to the New River, Hunter Krigler sat alone in his car and made a decision that could have proved fatal.
I started to draw up this syringe of heroin, and I looked at it and I told myself that I've never done this much before, and there is a good chance that it could kill me. And it was somewhat of a relief. I was okay with that. And a couple hours later, I woke up with a needle in my arm and just drool all down my shirt, in my lap, and I'm still convinced that God laid his hand on me that day.
But the near miss wasn't rock bottom. To understand why is to understand what led to his addiction. A multi-sport athlete while a student at Radford High School, Krigler describes a happy childhood with 2 brothers and loving parents and a tight group of friends.
We went to church. I was involved in youth group and always stayed active in sports. And I think those items just keep myself busy. I was able to stay on a pretty strong path all the way through high school.
But after graduation, as the friend group scattered and with fewer activities on his schedule, Krigler felt lost. He moved into an apartment a block away from the Radford University campus with some new friends who introduced him to a new activity, partying with drugs and alcohol.
One of my roommates started to sell a high amount of cocaine, large quantities. At one point, the Radford Police Department considered him the kingpin of Radford. And everything that I got my hands on was free. I would say 6 months into living at this apartment is when I was introduced to opiates. And it's something I really liked. I was able to escape life. I was able to numb feelings.
But it was numbness from a severe case of Guillain-Barré syndrome that left him hospitalized and in rehab for months to regain his strength. As he recovered, Krigler and his parents, who were unaware of the extent of his drug use, hoped this would be the catalyst for addiction recovery as well. It lasted a week.
I was clean, I had a sense of gratitude, but I still hadn't addressed the main problems, the underlying issues. And that was, I wasn't able to manage my feelings.
Bridget and Billy Krigler were dismayed, but through support groups and counseling, they summoned the courage to cut their son loose.
You don't realize until you're almost on the other side of it, just how crazy your family has become and what you'll believe a child when they tell you. Just crazy stories about, where his money had gone or that kind of thing.
Life's handbook doesn't come with these instructions on how to deal with addictions, and we learned the hard way. The more you help them, things are going to they're either going to end up in jail or they're going to die.
For Hunter, it was jail. After a spree of stealing from friends and family to support his addiction, he robbed a neighborhood gas station to pay for a fix. Knowing there were warrants for his arrest, Bridget Krigler tracked down her son and said, "Enough is enough."
She drove me down to the Radford police station, and I turned myself in. I was exhausted. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Krigler spent 10 days locked up in the New River Valley Regional Jail until a judge ordered him to complete and graduate from the Way Forward Recovery Program at the Rescue Mission.
When I arrived at the Rescue Mission, there was a sense of release from my past life, and it's almost as if that was the clean slate had started. It was very overwhelming because I knew at that point that I was in good hands.
At the rescue mission, Krigler lived in community with the other program participants. He especially appreciated sessions with his coach and his spiritual advisor, and he grew in his faith and from classes provided through the Learning Center.
We were able to hone in on the main issues. We were able to uncover those character defects and address them. We're able to dig deeper and just identify the false beliefs and bring truth and bring light onto those.
Studio arts, he says, provided a special outlet for creativity, long buried beneath the weight of addiction.
There is a reason that there's a pottery class, that it's about molding an item or somebody into who they want to be. The studio arts definitely played a huge therapeutic part in the recovery. With an artistic background, I was able to let that shine, and it helped build an identity.
Today, Krigler owns a business, and he and his wife Brittany are the doting parents of 2 young children. They're active in their church and the community, and with once broken relationships now restored, their favorite activities involve time spent with family and friends. For all of it, he is grateful.
There are still hard times, but because of the mission and the tools that I gained there, I'm able to manage my feelings and life in a much healthier way. Having an awesome wife, 2 beautiful children. Life today is such a blessing.